Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your September 2018 general readings. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers. Thank you, as always, for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and for those of you who continue to follow my YouTube channel. So greatly appreciated. Thanks. And thank you to all of my clients out there as well, regular and new, for keeping me always so very busy with personal one-on-one readings. And as most of you who follow me know, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading, you can get more info and contact details by either clicking on the description bar of all the videos I post or going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the little About button. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. And turnaround time for personal readings, live or recorded, can be anywhere from a few days upwards of a couple of weeks, but almost always within 2 weeks or so we can schedule a reading. So if you're interested, send me an email. I'd be delighted to work with you. I do love and romance, compatibility charting, reconciliation spreads, career work and finance, investment readings, passed on messages from loved ones. And I also do 6 and 12-month overviews, which look at what's coming in your life for 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look, as well as gift readings. So if you're interested, email me and we'll set something up for you and go from there. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. The smartphone app is good. Instantgo is good for fast answers to the faster questions, or you can do a phone or video reading that way as well. But for the traditional ones, just email me. So moving right along, this reading is for the air sign of Aquarius for the month of September 2018. These are general readings, so they always, resonate a little differently for everybody watching. For additional insight and clarity, if you know your rising and your moon sign, watch those videos as well. All right, Aquarius. Our lovely water bearers. Let's see what September has in store for you. Okay, Aquarius, we begin with the Hermit, followed by the Lovers, the Fool, followed by the Page of Cups. Interesting. We have the Moon, followed by the Queen of Wands, and at or towards the end of the month, we have the Four of Swords, followed by Justice. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and advice is Judgment. You have Justice and Judgment both. My goodness, I've done... September must be a pretty significant month for a lot of people because I've done about half the signs so far, and so many of the signs have a lot of major arcana cards. I do, for the beginning of the month readings that look at the whole month in that reading, I do 9 cards, 2 for each week, and then a crowning card from the bottom of the deck, so 9 cards. And so far, everybody has between 4 and 6 major arcana cards in their reading, and you have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have 6 as well. So it looks like September is potentially a significant month. There's a strong energy, Aquarius, about doing the right thing here in the month of September and adhering to as much transparency and the highest level of honesty, personal honor and integrity as possible, because you have Justice and Judgment both in the upright. And Judgment is your overall energy and overall guidance and advice for the month of September. So Judgment, what does Judgment really mean? What does it mean to be judged? Judgment means that you are called to account for something. You're called to answer for your actions, not what you hoped, wished for, wanted, but what choices you actually made, the things you actually set into motion, what your actions really were. That's what Judgment means. It means you're being called to account or called to answer for something. So it's kind of a strong, serious card. Because there's an air of finality to Judgment, meaning that it's an air of finality, means that whatever choices you make, whatever decisions you make, whatever path you take, whatever you set into motion, you're not going to be able to come back from. It's going to set the stage for something for quite some time, particularly in your own character. So strong cautionary advice. It's serious energy, to make sure that you operate with as much personal honor and integrity as possible. You also have Justice, which is the reap what you sow, tit for tat. What you reap, or what you sow is what you're going to reap. What you actually do is going to directly affect the outcome and consequence that you experience. So again, strong cautionary advice here to, transparency, personal honor and integrity, and doing the right thing, what you know to be the right thing is, because you may set something into motion that you later regret. We've all been there, right? So that's a pretty strong message. You've got that as your overall energy, and it's one of your final cards too with Justice. So we have around the end of August, beginning of September, the Hermit and the Lovers. So it looks like this time period is pretty significant too, because you have two major arcana cards for the end of August, first week of September. The Hermit is a card about, it can be a card about walking a solitary path for a time, or taking a step back and maybe withdrawing from social activities or from conventional society to contemplate something and maybe try and figure out something, maybe a decision. I mean, there may be a decision in front of you, or an important, well, there is, because it's clarified by the Lovers, which is about a significant decision. What do hermits do? What do hermits, monks, monastics, what do? They withdraw from the distractions of conventional society for a time or for a long period of time. Why did they do that? They do that to go within, to kind of seek, to contemplate and try and find an answer, or seek insight and wisdom to something. And it's also about using not only what you get from that experience, but it's also about using the sum total of your life experience so far to help kind of guide you, what you already know to be true, which is what the light represents. This is an aged man, because we usually view older people as having more wisdom, ideally. Although out of the mouths of babes come some pretty profound things. And he's using the light of this lantern to kind of help him find his way, illuminate an answer, solution, or wisdom. And this light is symbolic for all his years of experience and wisdom. So it's about taking a step back to contemplate and find an answer, and know what the right thing is to do, the best thing, the right thing, the wise thing is to do. And that can require, it could be that you need to some advice here about maybe taking a step back, maybe not socializing right now, or getting away if you can, to try and do this, because you want to make sure that what you choose is the best thing possible for everybody concerned. And that's echoed by the clarifying and accompanying card, which is the Lovers, which is about making an important choice. In the early tarot decks, this wasn't called the Lovers, it was called the Choice, and it showed a man standing in front of two women, or sometimes a woman standing in front of two men. The implication being that a choice had to be made which was going to significantly impact and affect a significant or primary relationship. Now, that's not to say, as I always hasten to add with this card, it's not to say that you're choosing between two people, or someone's choosing between you and somebody else. It could be the case for some of you. And it could be about a relationship, the choice that you need to make, or it could be the choice may be about something in some other area of your life, like job, work, career, moving, or relocating, but a significant choice in that area would, of course, impact and affect significantly a primary relationship, or your significant relationship, because it can represent a soulmate relationship, or a very connective relationship. Doesn't have to be love and romance, but the Lovers, it often represents that, because it's a very passionate, connected relationship. So it's about taking a step back. It looks like at the end of August, beginning of September, strong advice to take a step back to contemplate, maybe kind of spend some more quiet time than you normally would, to try and because it looks like there's a choice or a decision that needs to be made about something, whether it's about a relationship or about something else that's going to affect a relationship. You need to take some time out, because you really need to make the wisest and best choice possible here. Now, next to that, we have the Fool and the Page of Cups. I love the Fool. He's my favorite major arcana card. I feel like you ought to be careful with the energy of the Fool and the Page of Cups both, because the Fool is about the potential and promise and possibility of a new beginning. Because the Fool is about the time, that energy space in between, after something comes to an end, but before something new begins. So that energy of that in-between places, anything's possible, everything's possible. It's all about potential and possibility and what could be. And the Fool's about stepping off the beaten path, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something that's risky, taking a chance, something you've never done before. Cautionary advice with the Fool, we always want to make sure there's water in the pool before we jump in. And I'm not sure if I like this combination with the Page of Cups, because the Fool is wonderful energy. He's my favorite card. He's a trailblazer. He's all about stepping out of the comfort zone, doing something new, something different, maybe something a little risky in order to discover what the potential and possibility is. It's beautiful, wonderful energy. But it's a very childlike, exuberant, I'm not looking where I'm going energy as well. Now, accompanied by the Page of Cups, Pages are the youngest and least mature energies of the tarot card, of all the court cards. They're the young people. They can represent children or young people, messengers, messages. They're the youngest and least mature energies of all the court cards, because they're pages. They're just starting out. They're the dreamers. They're the ones that conceive the idea, come up with the idea, but they don't have enough life experience or age or anything yet to kind of flesh it out or know whether it's realistic or not. And then there's some maturing and growing and evolving. They go into the Knight stage, which is more mature and evolved than the Pages. The Knights are still pretty spontaneous and impulsive, but they are able to take the dreams, the ideas, and begin to flesh them and manifest them in reality. And then Kings and Queens are that mature, top of your game kind of energy. So Pages are very youthful, childlike, sometimes unrealistic. Now, this is a Page of Cups. Cups is water energy, and in the tarot, this is the energy of emotions, because it's watery, mercurial energy, water. It's the element which governs cups, and it's the energy of the suit of cups in the tarot is all about the watery, mercurial world of our feelings, emotions, relationships. So the Page of Cups is like in love with love itself. He's very much an idealist and a dreamer, which is beautiful, lovely energy, but he's just starting out and he doesn't have the ability to follow through or flesh things out. This can be like feeling like you're a young child in love again. So I'm feeling cautionary advice here. Combine the Fool and the Page, both, the energy of them both is wonderful, lovely, beautiful, dreamy energy. But you have to be careful with this energy, because for some of you, it kind of looks like you may be in a relationship, maybe in an established relationship, maybe it's even a good relationship or marriage or job or career path. And all of a sudden there's another option, another choice. And maybe you met somebody else and they make you feel like you're, 15, 18 years old and you got the whole world in front of you again, and you want to just like throw everything out the window and jump on a plane and go, quit your job, leave your family, that kind of energy. And it's not to say that people don't do this and have it work out, but it's a lot of chaos and people can get hurt in the process. And this energy together, I'm just getting, because you've got Justice and Judgment, you've got the Hermit, there's this really strong cautionary advice for September. Whatever it is that you're considering doing, do not make this decision based on the impulsivity and spontaneity of your emotions right now. Very strong message about that, Aquarius. Please listen to it. Now, next to that, we have the Moon and the Queen of Wands. So the Moon's a major arcana card, can speak of deep spirituality, unconscious, maybe fears and stirrings, visceral, deep stuff. It can represent things not being entirely clear or somewhat mysterious. Not everything's kind of seen right now, because things look very different under the light of the moon than they do by the light of the sun. Under the light of the moon, you can't see everything. Not everything is illuminated like with the sun. Under the light of the moon, there's a lot of, shadowy nooks and hidden recesses and corners. Not everything is always apparent. There may be things you don't know yet, things yet to be revealed. Again, and kind of cautionary advice here, you may not know everything, especially if you're in a relationship or you've met even if you're not and you met somebody new and you just want to like get married tomorrow, whatever. Careful, because there may be things you don't know yet that you need to know, particularly if it's about another person. That's clarified by the clarifying card, which is the Queen of Wands, which can represent a fire sign individual, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or somebody who manifests like the Queen of Wands. Fiery, dynamic, energetic, sexy, a go-getter, vibrant, probably easy on the eyes. Showing up as a queen, but it could be a male as well. Very exciting, energetic, good leadership, sparky. I mean, it's fire energy. It's wands, which is governed by the element of fire. So, it can represent a fire sign person, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. For those of you for whom this is a relationship reading, it could be that maybe there's a new person that is represented by the Queen of Wands, or it could be somebody you're already involved with is represented by the Queen of Wands, and it can also be male energy as well. But again, it's crowned by the moon, so not everything, I feel like not everything is known. I feel like the temptation, regardless of what part, the specifics of your particular story watching, because it's going to be different for everybody watching, strong cautionary advice. I don't feel like you know enough yet or have enough information to make a major significant decision. And when you do, you need to make sure it's the right ethical decision as well. And you need to take some time out to do that. I don't feel like this decision should be made in September. And that's actually underscored by the remaining 2 cards at or towards the end of September too. It's like the last 2 cards of September are very similar to the first 2 cards of September. So if you can hold off on making any major decisions, do so until October. At or towards the end of September, we have the 4 of Swords and Justice. The 4 of Swords is also a card about taking a step back, like the Hermit is. The 4 of Swords is a card about rest, respite, restoration, taking a time out to recuperate, recover yourself, maybe get out of the emotions a bit, get a different perspective. Because when you're in the heat of the emotions, like the Fool and the Page of Cups, it's all woo and fairy dust and everything is going on, you know, birds twittering around the head kind of thing. You're being advised not to make a decision based on that, because feelings are wonderful, terrible, up and down, mercurial, lovely things, but they're not completely reliable or stable. So do not make any significant life-changing, life-shifting decisions based entirely and driven entirely on emotions of the moment. The 4 of Swords says take a step back. The 4 of Swords can sometimes show up too when someone's feeling tired, overwhelmed, worn out, exhausted. That's what this Knight is doing. He's taken off his hand gauntlets and his helmet because he's tired. He's taking a temporary break from the battle, the challenge, whatever this is. He's not done yet. He's going to go back. These swords pointing down at him represent whatever the issue is. His own sword is close by his hand should he need it. But for the time being, he's not engaged. He's taking a step back. He's tired. He needs to rest, get a good, fresh, maybe different perspective before he goes back into the fray. And why? It's clarified by Justice, which is very similar to Judgment. Judgment says, be careful what you do. Make sure it's the best, most ethical, moral, and integrity-driven thing possible, because whatever you set in motion, you're going to set it in motion. You can't undo it. And Justice, at the end of the month, says, this is the reap what you sow card. The decision you make, if you make an unethical decision, it's going to be reflected in the outcome or consequences that's going to affect you and everybody else. So be very, very careful. So intense, kind of strong message here. Careful, be thoughtful, consider everybody, make the best decision that you know to be right. Things do weigh out. Karma does. I mean, they say what goes around comes around. It's not meant to be fear-driven or fear-based, but that's, we live in a universe that's governed by, everything is in order. It's finely tuned in order. And when we put something out that causes chaos, that chaos has a way of returning to us in one way or another. I mean, we've all been there, right? So, yeah, be very, very careful, particularly in this relationship arena of your life, or about making a major decision in another area of your life that's going to really affect a significant or primary relationship, Aquarius. So, wow, kind of intense, Aquarius. I don't know. All the signs have so many major arcana cards. So far, I've done like half of them. So we'll see how the other half are living this month. So Aquarius, that pretty much sums up your September 2018 general readings. Thank you for watching. I hope that it has been helpful for those of you watching. Again, if any of you are interested in a more personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, please send me an email at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you and set up a reading in as timely a fashion as we can. I do all different kinds of readings. And you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy for quick answers to the quick, easy questions. You can find all that info and contact details by clicking on the little About button on my YouTube channel's homepage, or clicking on the description bar of the videos I post. I'll see you all again in a couple of weeks, Aquarius, for the September 2018 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to hear back from you soon, or see you again soon. Bye-bye.